and I'm back. Wonder when I was gone if you missed me, because it's been a while since I posted a video, right? But at the same time, you weren't really studying PTE anyways. But now that I'm back, I'm gonna make a video about the 3 common questions that I kept getting during this time, because I was still teaching and people were still asking me questions. And these 3 questions reminded me of something. It reminded me of superstitions. Why is that? Well, I believe every culture's got that, right? Because growing up in America, they got a lot of superstitions too. Coincidentally, it always revolves around luck, right? If you break a mirror, you get bad luck. You walk under some ladders, you get bad luck. But if you carry around a rabbit's foot, you get good luck, right? And that was what I feel like was the superstition in America. But then growing up in an Asian household, for some reason, I think I'm speaking for Asians in general, um, superstitions always revolve around ghosts. Asians got some infatuation with ghosts, right? Every superstition is something about ghosts. Don't go out at night with your friends. But why? Oh, there's ghosts outside. Finish eating your meal, otherwise what? Otherwise ghosts will come. What the? Everything is around ghosts. But what I've come to understand is that if you ask Asian parents a question and they don't know how to answer it, what are they going to tell you? They're going to tell you something related to ghosts. Okay, so that's why they have so many superstitions about ghosts. Now, what the hell does that have to do with PTE? Well, superstitions, for me, I can't prove that. I can't see ghosts. I don't want to see ghosts. So I can't prove the superstitions and I don't really care for them. Whenever I explain or teach something, I want to be able to prove it, see it, basically have data, have information for that, right? So I'm going to talk about those common questions that I was getting over this time, and I feel like they are superstitious type of questions. But before we get started, in case you didn't know, my name is Sunny and this is Sunny English. So if you're new here, please consider subscribing because I provide real tips and tricks on how to get your PT scores. No superstitions, nothing that you can't see. So y'all ready? Let's get into this. Alright, first off, one of the common questions that I usually get is, Sonny, is it true that if I go to a different country to take the PT exam, it would be easier than taking it in the country that I'm trying to immigrate to? Damn, you really considering that, huh? You really considering going to another country to take the PTE because it might be easier? How am I supposed to prove that? How are we supposed to prove that? We would have to run multiple experiments, right? The same person taking that same exam in multiple locations, multiple times in order to have sufficient data to back that up. What the F? Now, technically for IELTS, maybe that's true because the examiners are locally based. So wherever you're taking the exam, it's the local examiners that are scoring you. So they might be more lenient, maybe. I've heard that about IELTS. That sounds more believable. But with the PTE, the test is sent back to the headquarters or wherever the hell their servers are, right? It's the same algorithm, the same system. I don't really have any type of information that I can give you to show you that, yeah, if you go back to this country and you take the exam, it'll be easier than taking it in Australia because they know you want to come to Australia. Damn, that's what I'm talking about with that superstitious stuff. I don't believe that it's important enough for you to actually consider taking the exam in another country. If you are not passing the exam, it's more likely yourself than the country that you're taking it in. Number 2, another common question that I often get asked is, Sonny, does it matter how I fill out the application form when I'm booking a PT exam? Does it affect the difficulty of the exam? Where do people come up with this stuff? That's that superstitious stuff again, right? So they believe that if you select immigration purposes, that the exam is going to be more difficult compared to if you select um, for education purposes, right? Or vice versa. I'm not sure what they explained to me, and I'm not talking about the students that are taking the exam. I'm talking about the people that passed on this information. Where are you getting this stuff from? How do you even test or sample for that kind of data? So, how would you even prove that? Because you will have to run that experiment multiple times to get sufficient data. Again, right? Sufficient data. Because how do we even know that the questions would have been different if you selected immigration or education? You will have to run that multiple times where you see, okay, so every time I picked education, I got these type of questions. And every time I picked immigration, I got these type of questions. Has anyone ever ran that type of experiment to be able to tell us, oh, you get more difficult questions if you select immigration purposes or education purposes? I don't remember which one it was that they kept saying would be more difficult. But realistically, do you believe anyone has ever invested in sampling that data? I would rather invest my time and money on how to actually pass the exam than to test out some superstition somebody came up with, and now it's spreading like wildfire. Now, this is the third question. This is probably the most common question, so I saved it for the end. Sonny, can we use backspace? Will using backspace affect the spelling score? Will the spelling score pull down the writing score? Now, as for myself, I've never actually taught anyone not to use backspace. I've heard about this a long time ago, and I never, ever, ever told anyone not to use backspace. Why? Because I use it myself, and I don't have a problem with it. I don't have a problem passing the exam, right? I will still be able to get the points that I need, even when I use backspace. So could it be true? I don't know. I never wasted my time to test that because it doesn't affect it that much, even if it did affect it. To me, I don't believe it does. But now I need to ask, where's most of your writing points coming from? It ain't coming from the writing. Majority of your writing points, at least half or more than half, it's going to come from the listening and the reading. Right from dictation, listening, fill in the blanks, and the reading and writing, fill in the blanks. If you misspell words in the right from dictation, it ain't going to show up in that spelling score. It will show up in your writing score, right? So to misspell words in the right from dictation, it's you actually misspelling words, and that would drastically impact your writing score. But if you misspell words in the writing module, it's hard to get the spelling points anyways, right? Because they tell you if you misspell one word, you lose 1 point. If you misspell 2 words, you get a 0. Not the whole task, just the spelling. So it's already stated that it's not easy for you to get the spelling points. So how do we know if it's actually you pressing backspace or maybe you just misspelled 2 words? Could that also be true that you misspelled 2 words and it dragged your spelling score down? Or is it really the superstition where, oh, you press backspace, you will lose all of your spelling? So let's be realistic. Is spelling important? Yes, especially in the right from dictation. If you misspell words in the right from dictation, it's going to drastically pull down your writing score. Now, in the writing module, all it takes is you misspelling 2 words in that task, and then you get a 0 for spelling. So I haven't invested time or money into testing the backspace theory, and to me, realistically, we never had any issues with that. No one I have ever worked with have I told them, oh, don't use backspace. That's a secret. That's my little secret. No, that's not my little secret. Shit, that's the internet secret, right? You know me. I'm only going to talk about things that are real, right? I'm not going to make up superstitions to try to justify why we're not getting our scores. Because I told you, my perception of superstitions from parents nowadays, like if you ask an Asian parent a question and they can't answer the question for you, oh, it's ghosts. It's going to be ghosts. And then now it seems like you ask a PTE trainer a question that they cannot answer, oh, it's superstition. Maybe you didn't get your score because you used backspace. Maybe you didn't get your score because you filled out the application wrong. Or maybe you didn't get your score because you took it here. Maybe you should get on a plane and go to a different country and take an exam. Damn. The extent of why you're not passing is no longer revolving around your ability. It is now beyond your control. It's a conspiracy. It's a superstition. There you have it. I hope I answered some of the questions that you might have been asking. It's my personal opinion. You can take it how you want to take it, right? But some people have been asking me, so I figure I give my 2 cents. So if you felt that the information was helpful, don't forget to give me that like. And if you're not subscribed already, please remember to subscribe. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.